I was wondering, like, is this the same Egypt that I've seen people talk about casually online? I need to because it's an extra $8 as an African in an African country, while Europeans and Americans and others are not paying extra. Why? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the things that you should know when traveling to Egypt, especially as an African with an African passport. If you are new here, you're welcome. My name is Victoria, and on this channel I share my lifestyle here in the United Kingdom as a Nigerian. So if you like this video or any other of my videos, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, leave me comments below, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe. So basically, there are a lot of things that I have to say about Egypt and my experience there as an African visiting an African country. Egypt is not Africa. I am from West Africa, but I currently stay in the UK, so I traveled to Egypt from the UK. I stay in Newcastle, but my flight was from Manchester to Istanbul, and then from Istanbul to Hurghada. That was where I went. So basically, there are different parts of Egypt, of course. There is Cairo, which is the capital, which is very popular and which is where most people go to, and there is something El Sheikh, something like that. I've forgotten the exact name, but I went to gather with my friends, and here are the things that I think that you should know, especially as an African traveling to Egypt from the UK. An African on a visa, let me correct that. An African on a visa, that is, you do not have British Mali, don't have British passports. If you know somebody who doesn't have a British passport yet and they are planning to travel to Egypt, please send them this video ASAP, because you'll definitely be helping them. So let's get right into it. So the very first thing that I will say, which is very high priority, is have your proof of rights. What do we call it? Yeah, your share code is very important. Your right to stay in the UK share code is very important, that you have it on your phone or you have it printed out. You need to be able to prove to them that you are legally resident in the UK. When I got to the airport, I was wondering, like, is this the same Egypt that I've seen people talk about casually online? Because it wasn't exactly the same for me. Even from my first video, the first episode of my Egypt diaries that I posted on this channel, if you go under the comments, you see a few people saying they had a pleasant go through. There was no issues, they didn't ask them to pay extra and all that. Well, I went to Hurghada, but some of them went to another part of Egypt, so maybe that was the reason why, but let me break it down for you. So basically, you pay $25 for visa on arrival once you land in Egypt, and that was what I did with my friends. We paid $25 for visa on arrival. So after leaving the visa on arrival place, we joined the immigration queue to pass through the border, to get into where you get your luggage and all that. Then when the person saw my passport, just directed me to another person and say I need to pay for registration. I was confused. I'm like, what registration again? I paid for the entry visa, so what else? My brethren, that's how they took me to another place where they said I must pay $8 before I can go in. Meanwhile, I went with a friend of mine, Bukola. She already has a British passport, so it was easy breezy for her. She paid the $25 and then they checked her passport, they stamped it, and then she was there waiting for me. I was like, we're just looking at ourselves like, what's going on? Nobody told me that I'm going to pay an extra $8. So imagine if I didn't have extra money on me. But anyway, they had other options. So you can either pay in cash or pay with card. So they had that option for you to pay with card. Even if I didn't have cash, I could have actually paid with card, which was a good one. Honestly, now I'm regretting that I did not save the receipts that they gave me because I was so angry. Once I got through the border, I kept it, but once I got back to the UK, I discarded it. So I did not keep it. I will have shown you guys what it looked like. But basically what they wrote on it is registration. Because I was like, what is registration? Kini Bubele. And I was the only one, like, I was the only one that was pulled out of that crowd. Anyway, the others, I believe, were Europeans and Westerners. I didn't see any other Nigerian like me. So it makes me wonder, why do I need to pay an extra $8 as an African in an African country, while Europeans and Americans and others are not paying extra? Why? So once we had entered, collected our luggages and all that, we found a taxi driver, and I believe he insisted on cash. He was not ready to take paying by card or transfer or anything like that. So that brings me to my second point, which is, I think it's still part of the first point, but you know, in another way. Have cash at hand. Have cash. Like, have cash. You will spend a lot of cash, and they will rather ask you to go to the ATM to withdraw the cash, to withdraw in dollars and give it to them. So have cash. In their supermarkets though, there was a big supermarket I went to, they accepted card. I paid with my card when I was there, which was good. Okay, another thing that I want to say about my experience there is, it's an African country, right? And it reminds us a lot about Nigeria, about home, I would say. Like, apart from the resort, of course, there's a way resorts are built beautifully and all that. But when you go to the local places within Egypt, it will remind you of places in Nigeria. I am not sure about other African countries because I've not been in any other African country. I mean, Egypt is the first African country I would travel to. It definitely reminds us of home. When I went out together with my other Nigerian people that we went together, you know, many of them were saying, oh, this place looks like Obalende in Lagos. Oh, this place reminds them of this particular place in Lagos and things like that. So it will definitely remind you of home. When you go to Egypt, don't expect to see very beautiful high-rise buildings, you know, like you will see in London and all that. You will see more of Nigerian roads, potholes here and there, bad drainages here and there, and things like that. So yeah, don't get your hopes so high. So while still on that, I'll say another thing is that, you know, on their streets, there were a lot of, I don't want to say counterfeits, but I don't even know what to call it. But on the streets, like, there are some parts of hurghada that when we're coming back to our resort or going out of the resort, we'll see them. They are like shops, like mini supermarket. We saw Primark in Egypt. We saw Primark. We saw H&M. We saw those, you know, big Western brands in Egypt. But it's not the real thing. It's like the fake counterfeit ones. You know, it's just like seeing one shop in Baggy and they name it Primark, or one shop in Alesheloye and they name it H&M. If you're not careful, you just go in thinking this is a correct H&M brand in this particular country, and then you go and buy stuff, and then that's when you realize that's what's going on here. Oh my god, when we saw that, all of us were just laughing, like, what? Fake Primark, fake H&M. Also, in relation to that, the resorts where you are staying, I think most of the resorts there are all inclusive from what I've heard. The resort we stayed also was all inclusive. That means it's inclusive of accommodation, feeding, activities, different activities, and swimming pools and all that. The enjoyment is in the resorts and also in the tourist attractions that you go to. Now, when you try to go to their normal market or local places, you don't expect to see a lot of exciting things. You know, the excitement is more with the tourist attractions and the resorts where you're staying. if that makes sense. So another thing that I noticed, that some of my group members noticed and that we talked about actually, was the fact that Egyptians are firm in their decisions, in their rules. They are very firm. So if they told you that this place, for example, they only allow women to go in, better know that it's only women that will go in there. Or if they told you that, oh, if you don't have this particular pass, you cannot go in. Even if you have paid for it and you don't have that pass with you, better know that you are not going in. Oh my god, know that you are not going in. So they are very firm, very firm and resolute in their decisions, in their rules. That's something to note. And when they are telling you that they won't allow you, they are saying it not with a nice, you know, in Britain, or let me say in the UK, they'll be telling you with one diplomatic, you know, I don't want to offend you kind of. No, this one, that's what they will tell you point blank. You want to get offended, get offended. They say it with firmness and with straight face. An example is that the day we planned to go to Cairo. So we had a day trip from Hurghada to Cairo, and we had registered, but I think we needed to register 2 more people, and you know, we're trying to let them know, oh, we are sorry, needed to add 2 more people, blah blah. Even if it means, you know, lapping one another, or you know, just squeezing ourselves in, we don't mind, and things like, we'll pay. It's not like we are not paying. No, Mama Fariga man, they did not allow it. They did not allow. They were so firm with it. So the next thing I want to say is to go with better airlines. I don't know what the yardstick for better airlines would probably be, but for me, I went with Turkish Airlines, and like I said, that was my first time of going or traveling with Turkish Airlines, and it was an absolute pleasure. I love the fact that they had a lot of entertainment. Their food was good, even though I'm very picky with foods, especially foods I'm not, you know, so familiar with, but I still enjoyed the food that they provided. And even for the last lap of the journey, you know, from Istanbul to Hurghada, we're not expecting that they would give us food, and they still brought food, tasty food. And I'm like, UK Airlines can never, they will give you food on one short trip. Never. The best you get is water and snacks. And before I forget, another thing that I wanted to add with regards to having your share code with you when you are traveling, especially if you are not a British citizen, is that there are officials in Egypt, the Egypt Airlines. I don't know whether it's specifically Turkish Airlines or, you know, the whole of the Egypt airline, the airport itself. They are not up to date with how to verify you as a UK resident. I got delayed twice on that trip just because they were not sure. They were talking to their managers. Even after we've said we do not use a physical BRP card anymore in the UK, we now use share code. They did not understand. They were still saying, give us your BRP. I said, we are no longer using BRP. We now use share code. This is what you need to do. And as I explaining, this is the government site you have to go to. See, it is written here on this my share code, this thing. This is where you go to. You now input my this thing. I started teaching them what to do. So be ready to do that if you meet with officials that are not up to date with UK resident permit stuff. And the last but not the least, I know I've probably forgotten some things, but the last on my list is that take along with you a lot of sunscreen. I know I'm African, I'm Nigerian, I came from Nigeria. I am used to sun, but Egypt's sun, Egyptian sun is on another level. It is scorching. It is on another level. For the first time in my life, I got a tan. It's been over a month since I came back from Egypt, and the tan lines are still on my body. I don't know when they are going to go. Please help me, help my life. If there's anything that I can use, please recommend for me in the comment section so I can go and buy and start applying. The tan lines are on my body. Like me, I know it has not even cleared. I still feel like I'm still much more darker than I used to be. So be prepared that you get more darker. Take loads of sunscreen with you and just make sure that you enjoy yourself. And with this, I'll say thank you so much guys for watching. If you visited Egypt recently, or you visited Egypt in recent years and you think I missed out anything, please let us know in the comment section. Leave your comments below and share some tips with people that are trying to visit Egypt this summer season for a vacation. Thank you so much guys, and I'll see you in these other videos showing on your screen.